All right, we do have Rob on the phone from Fear Factory.
Rob, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay now, but I'm about to let my son actually touch me, so I don't.
Well, I would be nervous, too, if I were you.
Yeah, because you know him. Rob is one of the owners of Fear Factory, and we're going to have my son, who has worked there for how long have you worked there?
This is season 6.
Season 6, he's been there. He's going to work on makeup for me. And Rob, tell people what you're doing with Fear Factory this year in light of the COVID stuff. And I'm going to have Gabriel get started on my makeup now.
Excellent. Yeah, we are opening this year again, which surprises a lot of people, and we were wondering if it would be possible ourselves. But we are complying with all the government official mandates on COVID and keeping people separated, and we've had to kind of rethink the whole haunted house thing. If you've been to a haunted house before, you're used to large crowds and standing in line and waiting with tons of people you don't know. Well, it's going to be much different this year.
So do you have to have a reservation?
Yes, we do have pre-sale on our tickets, so you can get online on fearfactoryslc.com and you choose the day you want to go, and you pick the 30-minute window that you arrive, and that way we can limit the number of people on property and manage the social distancing much better. And yeah, so that's a big change for this year.
Well, that sounds challenging. I'm glad you were able to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, do people, you're requiring masks for people to go through, I would assume?
Yes, absolutely. We are asking everyone to bring masks and wear a mask as you go through. All of the staff and all of our actors have PPE masks and nose and mouth coverings as well. And we are basically had to just rethink everything from how we get people in to how they get through to how we do makeup to how we incorporate the scares. I mean, we used to have actors get right up close and scare you, and we can't do that anymore. So we've had to redesign the whole thing.
It's kind of scary watching Bill get this
I needed to establish some damn ground rules here. Like, you don't spray the makeup in my ear and in my eyes. Well, it sure feels like it.
Well, you keep your eyes closed.
You didn't tell me to close my eyes.
I said I'm coming at your eyes. Close them.
Oh, this is great. This is just great.
If only Bill could have known.
Yeah. You have some really great makeup artists at Fear Factory. Gabriel was a little concerned because he does makeup well, but he's not one of the line people who do the great makeup at Fear Factory. So he's kind of nervous that this isn't going to come out well.
Oh, he's amazing. He does some killer makeups as well, and he's one of our special effects team artists, and don't let him fool you. His makeup is awesome. So
yeah, I like the fact that you said killer.
That's about right.
I want to know if you have any COVID-themed rooms, because that's very scary these days.
We did not do a COVID-themed room this year. We thought that might be a little too soon for that. But like our infirmary room, the doctors and nurses in there wear like the medical PPEs with blood splatter on their face and stuff like that incorporate the actual PPE as part of the costume. And then other areas where, like vampires or zombies or other things, the PPEs are hidden underneath the masks and makeup, so you won't see those, even though they are still hidden.
You don't need to go down below on my neck. You can just keep it on my face.
You're going to be a complete character.
I don't. Why did I agree to this?
I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, where do we go to reserve our spots to go through the haunt?
You can go to fearfactoryslc.com, and right on there you'll see a big button that says buy tickets, and just click on that and it'll give you a selection of dates and times, and get them now while the options and the availability is wide open. because it will sell out. We've sold out the last 2 weekends we've been open. All the time slots have filled up and sold out. So reserve your time now.
How do I look so far?
Pissed
pale.
off.
Yeah.
Pale and pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you very much.
Fear Factory.
Yes. Go and reserve your spot.
In and turn your arms because you don't want, you got to get like right under the pits there because it looks weird if you have the spray tan on top but not right there. And then I've had somebody with a brush like Little Bill's using do airbrush my. It's a whole lot to go to look, how Sue looks naturally. It's a whole lot to go through.
Were you happy with the result that you did?
No, it doesn't look natural.
No, it rarely does. And in the case of like Sue's situation, when she went to the fitness competition, the idea was not to look natural. They kept saying that we need you as orange as possible so that under the lights we can see definition. Yeah. And so they got her behind a curtain, her and her friends, completely nude, and just poured it on. And that stuff stayed for days and days.
Stained.
I remember after the competition, she took a shower, and I saw this orange ring in the shower. Luckily,
I wonder with Trump's shirts. Like I always wonder about the collars of those shirts. He's got to just throw those away after he wears them.
Well, have you ever seen him with his collar loosened? Not really.
I don't think so.
It's when he plays golf that he does, and he doesn't do as heavy of an orange when he decides he's going to go golfing, and it stops. You can see the line. You can see.
He really should stop wearing those white pants when he goes golfing, though. Those show all kinds of unpleasant stains.
Speaking of unpleasant stains, go to x96.com/live where Bill is getting his makeup.
How does it look so far?
You look like a burn victim.
Yeah, you're getting kind of a...
I feel like a burn victim.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
Do you have anywhere to go to? Like, are you?
Yeah, I have to go to the doctor. So I'm just gonna. I do. I'm just gonna leave this on. I'm just gonna go to the doctor. Say, what do you think? Yeah.
Do you know they'll probably move you to the head of the line?
Maybe
it'll be great for triage.
And if anybody asks, you can just go gesture at it and go, my damn kid, and they'll they'll take it one way or another.
That's right.
Okay, we need our promo.
Yeah, we need to borrow your eyeballs.
Okay.
I was also the costume director, so I made all their costumes and things like that as well.
Did you get used to this?
I did, yeah. I was one of the as known as the stillest sitter. So I was fairly good at standing or sitting and just trying to not move at all.
I guess the thing about this is, too, you have to remember how many makeups do they do a night at these shows? They'll have, like 2 or 3 people with the airbrushes doing person after person after person, right?
At Fear, right. I think we have usually 10 to 15 makeup artists a night.
Wow.
And we have round about 100 actors in the show every evening that we have to do makeup for.
It's insane. It's just insane. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm just about, let's see, I think that's done with the shading. Except down here. Let me just hit that. And I'll punch.
Hey, Katie, I asked my son here, and he doesn't think this stuff smells like sweet. Do you know why it smells? It has this kind of sweet smell, this makeup?
It's the alcohol being atomized.
Yeah. So certain makeups will give off a weird smell for some odd reason. Sometimes people will put perfumes in them just to make them smell a little bit better.
And it almost smells like bubble gum or something.
That is weird. I've never had that.
Each brand of makeup's going to smell a little different. This is a European Body Art Endura makeup. I believe that's the brand we use in the show.
So how many shows is Fear Factory doing now that October is here? How many a week?
Let's see. We're open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for most of October. And then once we get to Halloween, the week of Halloween, I believe we're open every night that week.
That makes sense. You look like a grumpy old burnt man, Bill.
Great.
Slightly half Freddy Krueger-ish, a little bit.
Great.
Here, we can compare him to my tattoo.
No, that was one of the earliest makeups Gabriel ever did on himself was Freddy Krueger. He bought the sweater and the. Well.
I've got Robert Englund's tattoo.
Yeah,
Let's see it again.
Signature.
Let's see it again. Oh yeah.
Got some pictures of that.
I have the Buddha.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I've got Ghostface, who is my like all-time favorite slasher, and then I've got Robert Englund, and I got his signature when I met him at Comic-Con, which was super fun.
Was he nice?
He was very kind, very kind. And he does sign tattoos for free, which is really cool. So if you kind of went up to him and were like, "Hey, I hear you sign ink, you sign skin," and I was wearing my Freddy Krueger necklace at the time. I had a claw, and that was the first thing he noticed, and he was all about it. So it was really cool.
What's he doing these days?
He still does a little bit of dabbling, acting here and there. They've talked about bringing him back for a kind of like a Freddy revamp. Mm-hmm. And he said he would do Freddy again, but I'm not sure where that's going, if it's going anywhere at all.
Tomorrow, what's on the show?
Oh, we've got Bee Gina, and we have officially hit October, so that means it's all going to be Halloween themed.
Everyone is going to be.
You betcha. Mm-hmm. You betcha. Okay. We've got that going. We've got Mayor Mendenhall coming to join us. She's going to talk about some things. We also have an interview about Thriller, the Odyssey Dance Theater coming up.
Daryl Yeager.
Yeah. I've still never been to Thriller, and it makes me really sad because this year I probably won't go.
If you can, you should. I didn't. It's been around forever, and I didn't see it until after it was many. It had been running many years before I finally saw it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was quite entertaining. I just thought it was kind of a weird concept, and I didn't want to go. I was like, okay, a modern dance ballet sort of thing about Thriller. It seems silly to me, but it actually turns out it was quite entertaining.
Here it goes.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see it. I had a lot of people who went and saw it, and they're always like,
very thoroughly between these colors, especially because I'm going from a dark color to a lighter color.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to get all murky.
Well, thank goodness I don't have much else to do until later this afternoon. I can
there you go.
Spend a lot of time soaking this off.
Is it?
Thought you were going to wear it to the doctors.
Is it what, Katie?
Lil Bill, is it alcohol-based paint?
Yeah, it's alcohol-based.
Ooh, yeah. See, that always messed with my skin, but that's because I have super, super sensitive skin, so I always had to do like a water base.
Let me turn you a little bit.
What's the benefit of a water base as opposed to a alcohol based makeup?
So I am going to use some water base at the very end here as an accent color with a brush to hit like the wrinkles and the really deep parts of the makeup.
So
the effect, the reason you want to use both is that the water base will blend more easily. You can use like a Q-tip with a little water to blend it out. Keep working. Whereas with the alcohol-based stuff, it's not gonna smear or blend when I try and blend the water stuff. So that's why we use it in conjunction. The alcohol-based stuff is advantageous because you can add alcohol to it to thin it out and make it more translucent to get a more realistic kind of wash or translucent skin tone look.
You can also get
and it's also more durable. You're not going to sweat this off as easily.
You can also what, Katie?
You can get like a black light glow from it with the translucentness of it. It is a little bit harder to wash off. And it also, alcohol, the main reason a lot of actors use alcohol paint is because it does not run like...
Gabriel was saying it's more durable.
It won't
like if you get sweaty.
Exactly.
Which you will. Night of Haunted House acting.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
People who are like, I don't sweat. I'm always like, yeah, go work at a haunted house. You'll be dripping.
Now, are you just going to chop this up a little bit?
Yep. It'll be chopped up just slightly a little bit, make it a tiny bit shorter, and it'll be really fun.
Do you miss being in the haunted houses, Katie?
I do. I still, so because of, it's going to sound so bad, I have slight royalty at Nightmare because I used to be personnel director, I was costume director. I still have the ability to kind of go in, hang out with the cast and crew if I want to. The costume room literally has my name over 13 times throughout the entire room itself that I've written on walls and stuff like that. And so it's always going to be my costume room. My assistant actually took over when I left the haunt. And so it's really entertaining to go back and help out and still know my way around the room and know the costumes to the point where I am helping out better than the assistant of my assistant anymore. But it also feels very natural. Even the cast director and everything, he's one of my best friends, and he's like, it's just so much natural with you here. Come back. I was like, if I didn't work at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe. But I love my job. I love my job.
Do they own that building, or do they just still lease it?
They own that building. They actually bought out
I'm not sure, actually. Katie says they own it.
They bought out the restaurant next to it. They turned those into escape rooms. And they
did they? I saw that restaurant. It was like called the Miramar or something.
Yeah, so it was Miramar, which is a great but terrible place to eat. And so they bought that, cleaned it out, created some.
That's pretty good.
Created some escape rooms, and they're kind of trying to basically buy out that entire block to just build more and do like more outside stuff with their parking. And like you've seen their courtyard, it's huge. They've got that mass tower there now. It's super cool. It's really cool. The things that they've done in there is just absolutely amazing.
It's been there a long time. Years ago, they set up a stage in there and they did Rocky Horror.
Yep. I believe we are on 35 years. I believe they're celebrating 35 years this year.
And Castle of Chaos is still around doing
Castle
stuff.
of Chaos is still around. They're down on State Street in Midvale-ish.
Yeah.
They've got a place underneath a bowling alley.
Right. I went there. Well, I didn't go through the haunted house. I dropped Gabriel off there. He was. I always liked that guy who owned Castle of Chaos. James Gregory.
Yeah,
James Bernard.
James Bernard. That's right.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Anytime. So all haunters, we love going through each other's haunted houses because they're super fun. We check out what everybody else got, what the competition is, and I mean, you start to know certain actors from other places, and so you start to, go after them a little bit more. Like there's a no touching rule at Nightmare and things like that. But back in the day, if you'd seen your friends, you were allowed to kind of just grab them for fun.
Yeah.
At the haunted house one year, we had dentist as a fear. Because a lot of people are scared of dentists. And my girl Riley walked in the room right in front of 5 other kids. And I grabbed her by the bottom jaw and I threw her into the corner. And I looked at the kids and I was like, "You're next." And all of them, it took 5 minutes for them to get into my room.
I'll bet.
It was beautiful. It was a precious moment of mine.
I went to Castle, I think it was Castle Chaos one time, for a radio station thing, and I was with Crystal McKean, and who was the salesperson.
Yeah.
And they were doing this, where you could do this really quite a lot of touching and grabbing if you allowed it. What do you call it? Contact, and they grabbed her, threw her down on the ground, and dragged her away.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If like at Castle of Chaos back in the day when, we didn't have a pandemic going on, you could do like the 5 levels of fear.
Yeah,
and
that's what it was.
And you'd wear like a glow stick and they'd put like bags over your head and carry you away. It was fun, especially like when you go with the big Nightmare crew and everybody knows Jimmy, who is the cast director at the Haunt for me. And so if you went through with Jimmy, everybody knew your name. Your name would go through the haunted house. Everybody would know who you are, where you are, and they would go after you 10 times harder. And it was just that much more fun.
I don't understand. It seems, it's just bizarre to me that there can be so many haunted houses, and most of them, there are several established ones, and they've all been pretty successful.
Well, it's because people want to go to a whole bunch of them. Most people, they want to hit every haunted house they can.
Yeah. Okay, We're close to being done here, I think, aren't we?
Yep.
Looks like
this
it.
is the second to last step. All I got to do now, once I get this vein layer on.
Vein layer.
Details.
Yep, I'm just using like a bluish kind of purple color. And let me see, turn and face me real quick. Just want to see. Yep, okay. That's just to kind of break up the textures across the face. Now you're done with the airbrush.
My video's frozen here. I don't know what that means.
The stream has been taken down, but we're gonna post this up because it just needed to stop.
That's as far as we'll go.
Yeah, but we will continue this, and we can post it up after.
What you hear with this?
We can do what?
We can still continue this, and I'll just cut little bits out, and we'll still post it up with the finishing product. So keep going.
So we're fine where we are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How's that feeling up your nose?
It's all right now. I just hate the air going up there.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
That's absolutely the worst.
This is the final bit here. Handwork.
Yep, got to get the details and the lines, the highlights, the darkness. What is it called? Balancing.
All the little details with
shadowing.
This black paint.
And you'll only notice artists will only use very little bits of black paint for the simple highlights. Everything else is going to be like dark browns and things like that because black just stands off way too much.
Well, years ago, when I was an actor, you did your own makeup, for the characters you were playing. Mm-hmm. And I learned how to do it fairly well, but it was all... I had my own makeup kit, and it was all pancake makeup,
which is what this is,
and sponges, and brushes, and eyebrow pencils, and rouge and stuff like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I know that feeling. I will say this: I do miss clowns a lot. I used to be really scared of clowns, and when I was put in the clown maze for the first time, I lost all that fear.
Nearly done.
And it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I even created a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a cannibal and I'm gonna eat you. And then I'd run after him with fake knives. Hello. Todd has joined us in the room just to take a gander at what Bill is looking
Todd.
like. Doesn't he look fancy?
I can't hear Todd.
You can now.
Bill, you look scary and spooky.
This, as I was trying to explain to Carrie and Gina why, I kept saying, why am I doing this? And they said, we don't know. Why are you? And I said, because we need to get paid.
I think it's silly that the person who used to get all the makeup done on her voted no.
And then I just gotta blend those
granted,
lines
I'm also in the
good.
studio. We just don't want that in here. But
yeah, that's true.
I also know they use a lot of alcohol-based paint, and I can't do that on my face without having a severe breakout. We found that one out the hard way, just like I found out I'm allergic to silicone masks the hard way.
Oh, that's no good. That's hard for Halloween.
Oh, so bad.
So are we done? We're done?
Yeah.
Oh, we're done. This is the final picture here.
Sure. Sweet. You look like a burnt victim, sir.
It looks all right?
You look great.
All right.
And now we have Radio from Hell masks that you can protect yourself with from burns.
Excellent. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll see you tomorrow.